property cash flow show, and we're going to talk to you about property sourcing. Oh, let me say that. We're going to talk about property sourcing, not property sourcing. So a little bit subdued today, you may notice. A little bit subdued, obviously the news of Kobe Bryant. I don't know if you saw that on, well, everywhere basically, but that's quite affected me quite a bit. So it's first live since then, and interesting just to reevaluate what's going on in life and make sure that we're having more fun on a constant basis and do the things that you love, basically. We're going to talk about that more on Friday. But in today's session, let's talk to you about property sourcing, because I've got a couple of questions that have been asked and I want to cover those. I've got those just on screen here. So the first question, of course, is can you really give up your day job to be a property sourcer? And the answer is, are you ready? The answer is, it depends. It can't be a yes, it can't be a no. The answer is it depends. And let me go through why I think it depends. So I can take two people, okay? And we got person number one, very educated, degree educated, in fact, very capable, okay? And we can take person number two, and they're on the poverty line. They are so desperate to make money because they've not eaten for 2 days because they're at food banks, okay? Now we take this guy who's the property sourcer, and let's say this is a female. This is hard not to stereotype. Let's swap it around. So we've got this woman here, she's a doctor, and we've got this guy and he's on the poverty line, okay? Out of those two, which one do you think is going to make it? The educated one? That's not to say this person's not educated. I've got 5 GCSEs, I've not got a degree. But I earn more money than most people with a degree. We moved a heart surgeon in 2 years ago, and we were looking at his income, and I was like, "That's interesting." Little down with 5 GCSEs earning more than a heart surgeon. That's quite interesting. So you got Mrs. Heart Surgeon, and you got the guy who's on the breadline. Out of those two, who's gonna do the best out of property sourcing? And like, there is no answer. It depends is the answer. Okay, so. With that in mind, it doesn't come down to your education levels, how intelligent you are, your brightness. It comes down to that, and it comes down to how bad do you want it? How bad do you need it? When was the last time that you ate? How much do you hate your boss? We had a teacher, a headmistress at a school, and they came to us and they asked me for coaching for free. I didn't know she was a headmistress at this point. And they asked me for coaching for free. And I said, okay, well, why? Why do you need coaching for free? Well, I can't afford it. I've got no money. Okay. Well, what do you do? I'm a head teacher. I'm sorry, what? I'm a head teacher. What do you mean you're a head teacher? Like, there's nothing that I can teach you right now that won't earn you more money, but you're just going to go find yourself in the same financial predicament. And it really annoyed me. What do you mean you're a head teacher? It's like, you know, there's a real lack of financial literacy going on here. And that, like, number one, before you even think about property sourcing, before you think about any of that stuff, where are you on this financial literacy? Have you got yourself a spreadsheet? And are you filling it in? You know, income, outgoings, what your direct debits are, what your budgets are, and have your cash flow forecasted back for the next 12 months? Because if you've not done that, don't think about buying property courses and property training and so on. Do your cash flow forecast, okay? And if you want to go out and then start a business knowing that you've got 24 grand in credit card debt and that's costing you £600 a month, I don't know if those numbers stack up, but let's call it £1,000 a month, then great. How many deals do you need to get through at 2 grand a deal, let's just say? That's 12 deals, okay? How quickly can you get your first deal? So let's say it's 12 deals, 1 deal a month. Great, now we're starting to get a plan, okay? And this plan should be born from what's necessary in your life right now. Like, what's going on in your life to make you think, okay, now I need to go out and get rid of this debt and start earning some money away from my job. What is that? And when you understand fully what that is, that right there is your motivation to get stuff done. Because I speak to people and they do the training, they do some coaching, and I'm like, dude, have you done that thing that we said you were going to do? And they go, no, I've not done it yet. Okay, so 2 weeks later, dude, have you done that thing yet? No, I've not done it. Like, dude, for crying out loud, why haven't you done that thing that you said you were going to do? And the dude is the doctor. Or it could be the person on the poverty line, but more likely it's a person who's not going out and doing the thing that we need to go do. I can't do things for you. You have to go out and do it yourself. You get the other person and you go, dude, have you done that? And they went, yeah, I did that. And then I did this. And then on top of that, I've done this. And they're putting in the hours and they're putting in the effort. We all have the same 24 hours as everybody else. And so what I don't understand is, why is this person working more than you? Because they need it more. They want it more. They're desperate for it. And when my back's been against the wall, and you've come out and you've put the effort in, that's when I've done my most amazing work, because my back's against the wall. If I don't perform right now, something bad's going to happen, and I'm forced into performing. When people ask you, can you really give up your job as a property sourcer? The answer is, it depends. The answer is both yes, and the answer is both no. Depends on the person that's doing it, and it's nothing to do with education level. Don't get me wrong, if you're a genius, that probably helps, but then probably doesn't, because you risk overthinking it. So you end up not taking any action because you risk overthinking it. And that can be dangerous too. Whereas you get someone who's, bottom of a pile when the brains were handed out, they just go do it because they're too stupid to understand that they can't do something. I call this the Forrest Gump effect, by the way. And we all know people who are like, how the heck have you, like people saying this about me, how have you done this? You're stupid. How have you managed to do all this stuff? It's because they don't know that a thing can't be done. You've heard about the child that came in after taking a day off school and saw a mathematical formula on the board, on the blackboard. Can't call them blackboards anymore. It's a whiteboard. That's still racist. Why is that? I don't know. What do we call it? A pen board? I don't know what we call it. Anyway, saw the mathematical formula, and that child thought it was the homework, so he came in, sat down, and did it, and then worked it all out. And then the class started, and turned out it wasn't the homework at all, but this was an uncalculable formula that no one had ever been able to work out. And the child didn't know that it was incalculable, didn't know it was an impossible formula, and just sat and worked it out. Because they didn't know that they shouldn't be able to do that. And it's like the 4-minute mile, Roger Bannister did it once, and I think, I don't know, 128 people, whatever those number was, went and did it in the same year, because it proved to them that they can be doing it. And if a thing can be done, it can be done by you or I or somebody else. Unless you're Usain Bolt and you're trying to be another Usain Bolt, you've not got genetics gift there, regardless of how hard you work. But this is property sourcing. This is not 100 meters in less than 10 seconds. This is property sourcing. You do this, you do that, you do the next. When it fails, you do it again until you make it work, or you keep adapting until you get the result that you want. That's it. That's bottom line. So can you really leave your day job? You certainly can. Will most people leave their day job? Probably not, is the answer. So the next question then was, how much can I realistically earn from property sourcing? And that's like, how long's a piece of string? We know people doing, hundreds of thousands of pounds a year from sourcing deals. And we know someone who, they get one deal a year, one deal every 6 months, or one deal a quarter. Like, it can be as much as this or as little as this. But most people, when they're doing property sourcing, it's going to be down here. Now, that should do two things for you. First of all, you should be thinking, blimey, the odds of being a successful property sourcer are slim. That's the first thing it should tell you. The second thing it should tell you is, wow, this is brilliant. The chances of other people being successful are really slim. Like, I can tell from the sales of property sourcing training, the sales are coming in, and you're thinking, this is awesome. We have clients of mine who run property sourcing training. They can go out and find deals and pass them through them. Everybody gets to win in a win-win situation. But I know that the reality is that most people go out and do property sourcing and deal sourcing. It's hard work. Most people just give up. They like the fantasy, the idea of being financially free, but the reality is they can't make it work. And it's not that it's impossible to do property sourcing, because we know that you can do it. I've done it, and we've got clients that are doing it. It's just that the few are the ones that will make it work and make a really good living off it. The others might just get by and it's a bit of extra cash and so on. That's nice too, by the way. If you only did 4 a year at 2.5 grand a pop, that's 10 grand a year. If you do that for the next 20 years, there's 200 grand. There's all your deposits for the house. If you get an extra couple a year, £15,000, you buy a new house, not a new house, but a new build, but a new buy-to-let property at 60 grand every year for the rest of your life. Like that right there, that's where you're going to make a lot of money. So when we talk about how much can you realistically make from property sourcing, I'll give you an example. We sourced a deal. I think we got like £4 for this deal. And then we sourced another deal and we made some more money. And in that 1 year, just on property sourcing alone, I think we did like 15 grand. It was part-time. It wasn't me working full-time on property because we're taking a year out basically. But we're still sourcing on the side and we're putting leads out and I was going through separation and all that kind of thing. So I had my mind elsewhere, but we made about 15 grand. That 15 grand right there that came in was a deposit on a house, but I still got 15 years later. This is how long ago it was, 15 years ago. I've still got that property today, and that property is giving me an infinite return on that cash because I've still got it. And we bought it below market value, and it's gone up in value massively. Like depends what you call massively. We bought it for like 148. It's now worth 228. I don't know what it is. That's what, 80 grand, something like that. You know, 80 grand, and then we're still getting rent, and it's paying £400-500 every single month. Not bad at all. That's off one deal. And actually, we kept that deal. We didn't sell that deal. So in terms of how much can you realistically earn, okay, I always say this. You should, you know, if this is your first deal, you want to get one across the line. And so you want to really just knock your first deal out for like £500. Just anybody. Just get rid of the deal, get it across the line. Because we get paid twice, okay? The first is in experience, the second is in cash. Everybody wants the cash, nobody wants the experience. But you get more cash for more experienced you are. Even if you just source 10 deals quickly, you sold them all at 500, then 1,000, 1,500, then 2 grand, then 2.5, then 3, and you sold them and you increase the amount of income that you were going to get. By the time you get up to 2.5, 3,500 pounds, your confidence is sky high and you know how to get these deals done. By the time you've done 100 deals, it'll be like falling off a log. It'll be really easy for you to do, which is also dangerous because then you get really lax in following your strategies because you feel like you know it all. You know, success is a really bad teacher. So the money's there, that's for sure. And people going, yeah, but are people buying deals? Of course they're buying deals. I buy deals. Why would I not buy a deal? Yeah, but Dan, it's 2.5 grand. Yeah, and it's 15 or 20 or 25 or 30% below market value, or it's paid £1,000 a month for the rest of my life. Why would I not pay a couple of grand for that? I get a return on investment from the property sourcing fees within a very short space of time. My phone's going off. I should put it on silent. So you can do this. A couple of things that are stopping you. One is education. You've got to get educated. And most people haven't got a clue. They just don't know what we're doing, you know. So you've got to get educated. Number two is you've got to take effort, action. You've got to put the process to work. You've got to do the work. It is hard work, okay? This is why most people fail, because they go on a course and they think it's really easy and I'll just make 5 grand by the end of the month, and they've not made that. And it's like, you know, it's crazy. Don't make 5 grand, make 500 quid, get your first one through. Most people, they go through property sourcing training and they never get one deal over the line. And they don't get it because they're desperate for that 2 grand, 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand, because they've seen someone online saying that they get 10 grand or whatever it is. Go get your 500 quid. If it's 50 quid, it doesn't matter. If it's nothing, just get your deal that you've sourced across the line. Get a testimonial out of it instead, you know. And then number 3 is belief. So we've got, we don't know what to do, you've got lack of taking action, and you've got a lack of belief. The belief system around sourcing deals is massive. And this is the one thing that you absolutely need to put into place for deal sourcing and property sourcing and all of that stuff. If you don't know the type of mindset that you have, obviously we've got some stuff in module 13 or 14, I forget which one. We've got a whole mindset module, and it's not like, okay, here's the mindset section. It's 2 minutes on mindset, and it's like, just think hard, you know, think positive. It's not that. There's some good stuff in there. In fact, one of the bits of feedback that we got from a client was that module alone was worth paying £27, which is quite nice for them to say. But look, can you make money property sourcing? Yes. Can you give up your day job? I mean, the answer is maybe, but with a maybe, it means the answer is yes, and it means the answer is no. But some people have. And how much do you need to start earning before you give up your job? I think this one's really, really important. So for me, you know, if you're making 2 or 3 grand a month in your job and you're doing, you know, 1 deal or maybe 2 deals a month, that for me is not enough. If you're doing 6 or 7 deals, that's enough. Because what if you have a couple of loose months where you don't close any deals? You know, the difference between 2 deals a month and 0 deals a month is 2. I know that's obvious, right? But if that guy was going to buy then doesn't, and this woman who also was going to buy and she doesn't, now you've got no deal. And what if it happens the next time? Or what if something happens and it starts to go cold? You want a regular source of income if you're property sourcing and you're going to give up. Because what happens if the well dries up and you're in trouble and now you haven't got a job? And that, it bothers me. It really affects me. But I don't want you to get into that situation where I did this course, I did this, I understood it was going to be great, I made some money, and now I'm up the creek without a paddle because it's dried up. It's Christmas, it's December, it's January, whatever those excuse are. Or if you've fallen off your bike and hurt your leg and you're in hospital for 3 months and you can't do the thing. Get your insurances in place in case you have an accident. Get your deals coming through. We call it deal flow. Get as many deals coming through as you can, because that's important too. All right, I hope that's useful. Hopefully I'll cheer up before Friday. And we're going to do a podcast on mindset, and I think you'll quite enjoy that one because it's very topical right now. All right, hope that's useful. My name's Dan Latto. We'll catch up with you on the next podcast and live, and we'll see you on Friday. Have a good week, folks. Take care.